Welcome to the project, everyone. Today is an exciting one. I've been waiting for this for months and months. As you can probably tell from the boxes, we finally got our aluminum extrusion sim racing rig, and today's the day that we're finally going to start putting it together. I'm super excited. I think part of the reason I'm so excited for this is that I don't really drive anyone else's rig, and so the best sim racing rig I've driven has always been my own. So I don't know what this feels like, but I'm really excited to find out. But what you don't see here is what chair I'm going to be putting on the rig, and for that I'm pretty pumped. But we got to go to the garage, and we got some work for us to do, so let's get to it. Okay, so here is the seat that I ended up going with. So I actually bought this used on the used market, and it is a bit old, but it's in really good condition. Well, what I would think would be good condition. So this is a Sparco Torino. I don't think it's the Torino 2, it's just the Torino. And this is very similar to the Milano, I believe. But anyways, this seat's kind of special because this is exactly like one of the seats in Too Fast and Too Furious in one of the cars. And I love it. It was like my only option, only good option on the used market. So the color scheme's not my favorite, but overall, for the price I paid, I'm really happy. And it's really comfortable. And it's like an actual racing seat. So I would say it's a win. So one of the things that I really like about this is there's a knob here, or supposed to be. There's kind of a knob. Ugh, it's hard to turn. So that's how you adjust the tilt of the seat. And then you have this lever that allows you to pull it forwards like that, and even more. And I think that'll be good because that means when I'm not using the sim rig, I can tilt the whole seat forwards, and it should work out pretty well. But there are some things that are kind of bad with it, like the hardware is a little bit rusted. We're missing the plastic cover on the handle on that side. And on this side, we're missing the beauty plate and that handle again. And then one last thing is just the harness hoops here. This one's broken. But we have some replacement parts. I was able to get new hoops. And I think it'll clean up really well. I have my friend helping me 3D print some new handles for that. So when we're finally done, this should be pretty dang good. But I'm excited to see how well it cleans up, because I don't know if you can see on camera, but it's definitely a bit dirty. So pull out the shampooer. We're gonna shampoo this whole thing and see how much we can clean it up. The thing that's really nice about this is that there's no tears. So the upholstery on it is still really good. I think it's gonna clean up really well. I'm really excited about this seat. I mean, this is like the first actual racing seat I've ever owned and really ever sat in, if I'm honest. So excited to see how well it cleans up, but let's get to it. So it might not seem like we did a bunch, but I think it'll look a lot better once it dries off. And then this water is literally only from the seat. So as you see, yeah, we pulled out a decent bit of dirt. So the chair is outside drying, and I think the next step is gonna be opening all these boxes and starting to put together our actual rig. I am so stoked for this. As you notice, I did actually open up those boxes, and it was just from Summit Racing where I got the seat sliders, and then Motion Raceworks to get a America-themed steering wheel that honestly, so good. I'll show those in a minute. But first, let's actually start taking all these boxes and getting an inventory for what we have. So I got my rig from Advanced Sim Racing. I know they're in the US and they were pretty quick to ship, even though they're a little bit behind on orders. But rather than the ASR6, I went with the ASR4 because I think it should be just about as rigid. And the reason I went with the ASR4 is because on these profiles, the ASR3, the upright for the wheel sits on top with some angle brackets. But I really wanted one that would sit on the side with some brackets because I think that's going to be a lot more secure. Okay, so a little bit of an update. Yes, it's a complete mess in here, but I kind of put on the wheelbase. And when I first thought about it, I kind of want to try it like this, where it's inverted. That way I get more leg room. And if I can get it up high enough, then that might work out. But we'll see, because if it like blocks a monitor or something, then maybe it's not as good. But we're going to try it out like that. And then for the seat rails, I thought I had them the right width, but the bar didn't fit. So I decided to put the rails on the seat first and then transfer it over. And the bar to change the seat position does fit on the Sparco seat. So I got to go adjust these out to be that width because they're a little too narrow. So really excited to get this seat on there because then from there I can kind of start moving everything else around to see like how I want everything. So this is where I had to leave it off the other day, and now I got some time to get back at it. It's mainly put together, but there's some issues. There's three main issues that, or four? There's several issues that we need to figure out. Cora's being our lovely model here for us. So, big issue, I'm not sure how to mount these pedals. So I have the V3, the Fanatec V3 inverted pedals, and the distance between the back and the front plates where they have holes to mount it is not as far as these two can go. Like this profile and this profile can come apart. So when I originally bought this, I was like, oh, I can just spread those and mount it there. But there's another issue to this, is that I kind of want a seating position like our Crosstrek a bit, which means I need to drop the pedals below the frame here. And these bolts right here on the outside, they stick out, so I can't drop profile down in between the two big ones. So I'm thinking maybe try something like this. I have that pedal tray, maybe try to use that upside down. Yeah, use this pedal tray here upside down to help support this bottom, and then having this up here, and then like tilting it so they can like go down into the floor. And then hopefully I can get it moved away enough that'll be enough space. So that's one issue we got to solve. Another issue is, after looking at it, I actually really like this inverted like this. You get so much space underneath there. But I think what I might do, what we might try out, is actually rotating this plate so it'll be coming up here, and then flipping this so that way the plate will stick out and then the wheelbase will stick out from there, which means these uprights will move forwards. And I think what that'll do for us, if we can move those forwards and then have it still stick out, you'll get a ton of knee space. You'll get a ton of knee space up in there, and then you'll also be able to get in and out of the rig a lot easier. The only issue is that's going to push the shifter back because that whole thing's going to move forward, and hopefully there's enough space there. So there's just like some finagling that we got to do there. And then the last big issue is these seat rails. So we have the seat rail here, and we have these angles. Now these angles have little beauty plates that can go on there, and I have them in other places. But the problem is that the upper rail on the seat, when you scoot it back, it's so close to the bottom here that it knocks those beauty plates off. So I was going to run them without beauty plates, but after thinking about it, I went to the store and I got some of these. It's like a thick rubber washer and then a metal washer, and I'm going to put them in like that, because one of the other things that I was worried about with this is the bottom of this does not give us a lot of surface area against the profile. So if I use these, then this washer will help distribute the load, and it'll bring the whole rails up a little bit to be able to clear the beauty plates on here. So I kind of want to look at getting those figured out, and then maybe ordering a couple new things, because I might need to order some angle brackets to be able to run the pedals like I want. But I think the first things first, let's get this seat up. We got the washers up there. So let me set up the camera. We'll move this so I can work on it a bit easier, and then we'll move the seat up. Oh, and something else. I did, when I bought this shifter, I got this plate, and I think it'll actually work out pretty well. I wish I had more T-nuts for this Fanatec shifter so I could put some bolts down in there, but I only had 2, but I think that'll work. So 2 on 2 different slots in here, and then 2 on 2 different slots in there, and it's decent. That whole bar needs to drop down too. So there's just a lot of adjustments. Like, it was a good first try, but essentially we need to adjust every single piece of this. So let me set up the camera and we'll start getting at it. Alright, so now you can see we got the washers in there, and it did give a little bit of space to the seat rails. And if you look down in here, let's see if I can point this out. So right here, there's the beauty plate on the 90, then there's the seat rail. So hopefully you guys can see there's a bit of a healthy gap there now. And we should have the same healthy gap here. Here's the beauty plate. I did break one. I don't know, maybe I'll just kind of double side tape that guy on or something. Seat is now spaced up, ready to go. I kind of want to figure out the pedals first and then move this whole thing forward, so let's get working on the pedals. Okay, so I finally think I have the pedals mounted like I want right now. This is like after a lot of fiddling with it, and honestly, basically had to turn everything upside down. I might just start calling this the upside down rig because we're doing the mounting, the wheelbase mounting plate upside down. We did the supports for the seat upside down. We've done these upside down now. So essentially, with this upgraded pedal plate, you have two aluminum extrusions to mount your pedals to, and then a heel plate. Well, the problem is that they couldn't go below this, and so I basically flipped it upside down. So now they're mounted down under here, and then that allowed me to get the front bolt in, but the rear bolt is too far, like they can't go out far enough. So then I have the heel plate upside down while it's resting on that, and I know it's zip ties, we might get a little bit of flex, but I grabbed the biggest zip ties I could, and I cranked them down as much as I could, and now there is just absolutely no flex at all. So yeah, so using the front one to bolt, the middle one to zip tie down, and then the heel plate to crank it down against. And I did do some measurements in the Crosstrek. Again, I kind of want this to be a lot like the Crosstrek right now, but I might adjust it later. So from the virtual floor of the actual heel plate on the V3 pedals to the top of the seat right here, it's like 11 inches. So that matches the Crosstrek. And I did this all by feel. So yeah, it's about the same height down there to the virtual floor that I'll have in here. And between the pedal faces and the top of the seat, it's about the same. It's like 20 inches there. I'm just gonna run this, put that heel plate on, and then see how it goes. And I might change this a little bit later. I measured our 370Z and it was also about 20 inches there, but between the top of the seat and the bottom, it was about 8 inches, which would basically be right flush with the top of this. So once you add in the extrusion and then mount the pedals on, it would be too high for the 370Z. And one of the other things too is like the whole seat is really flat right now, but in both of our cars there's a bit of a tilt to that. I mean, there is a little bit, like right here it bumps up, but not as much as I think the Z or the Crosstrek. And one other thing too is I actually measured the angle of the wheel, like where the steering shaft, whatever they call that. I measured the angle and I got it pretty close to what the Crosstrek is right now. So let me put that heel plate on and then we'll start dealing with this whole upright situation and see about flipping that around to give us more room to get in and out. But so far, I think these will work. No flex, and we'll just run it. Okay, so I wanted to mount my monitor on here, and I have this monitor arm. I used to have a clamp here, but I could put a bolt there, and after looking at everything, this is what I came up with. It's just drill 2 holes, and then I can set it off like that, or maybe more like that, and then put T-nuts in there. One last thing that I want to do before we really test out the rig is update my drift wheel. I don't think I've talked about this before, but this is the ClubSport universal hub, and then I've got, like, I think it's the 320 millimeter rim on here, and it's like perfectly round, which is great. And I pulled off all the shifters and everything, and I tried to put the buttons all real close so that way all the mass, all the weight is in the center, and then it should work out as a really good drift wheel. This is my drift wheel right now, but I have something new. This is a little extra, but I loved it too much. I honestly, like when I saw this, I was like, I need to have this. And I held off for a bit, but then my birthday came around, I saved up a bit of money, and then with help from others, I was able to get this. It's a little extra, but it's the Cletus McFarlane Drift Rim. I do like Cletus's stuff, but like, come on, this looks so good. You got America on there, the orange is really good, you've got the decals on here with like the flag and everything. Like, this rim just looks so good. One of my concerns though is it is quite a bit more dished than this guy right here. You can see there's like no dish on this, ever so slight. And so this definitely has a lot more dish to it. But I want to put it on, see how it feels, because one of the things I really like about this, it is a decent bit bigger, but I really like the fact that it's round. This one, it's probably a bit hard to tell on camera, but it's actually oblong. So this distance is bigger than this distance, and maybe that's the best way to tell. See, big, flat, or short. So we got to pull this apart and see if we can put this on there. They are definitely the same hole pattern. But yeah, dished quite a bit different. Alright, there we go. The buttons will be a little hard to reach. Hopefully I'm not reaching in to hit the buttons for any of these. It's only when I'm stopped, so I'm not like trying to adjust turbo or anything. This is just like reset the view or reset my car, lights, horn. I mean, maybe I'll try to hit the horn. We'll see how it works. It is quite a bit bigger, but it is a full steering wheel, so awesome. Here is the rig finally finished up. I think I'm gonna dub this the upside down rig, because again, we made the bars for the seat upside down. We did the pedal plate, or the wheelbase plate upside down over there, and we had to mount like basically the whole pedal assembly upside down there. And yeah, so here's the upside down rig. I guess since you guys have seen, I did drill a couple holes into this mount and then mount it up, and yeah, it's pretty decent. Yeah, that'll work out for right now. And then as for the pedal plate, this works out pretty well, but this ridge right here is really hard to step on. I can do it if I have shoes on, but it hurts otherwise. So what I might do eventually is get the floor plate that they have and put it in there, because it's basically flush with the bottom of it. And again, this whole setup here is supposed to be basically resembling our Crosstrek. It's a really comfortable position. At some point I might change this to be a lot more like our 370Z, but let me set up the camera and drive this. I haven't driven it in months, so I'm super excited. Okay, I guess let's try this out. So I'm really familiar with the trophy truck in here, and this is like a lot of what I drive. It's really stiff on the steering, which I can kind of feel that now. I do have the force feedback graph here just to see, because I feel like I need to tune some settings on there. But let's get to driving here. So now we have our pedals and feedback, and we spawned in some traffic. So let's try this out. Do my turn signals still work? Okay, now we're gonna turn here. There's too many people in our way. Dang it. I might have broke myself. They were right in my way. Yeah, I was sliding a little too much. Feel like a go-kart. Oh, that was so bad. At least in BeamNG, like right here, this car is so much easier to handle. There's no traction control or anything, but like, oh, I can feel the input so much better. And like, the screen not shaking and everything, oh, it makes it feel a lot more solid. I can't get over this. This is so freaking good. Oh man, like that, oh, that's so much easier for my brain to like comprehend and get a handle on, of like how much I'm actually slowing down and how much I can kind of push the car, which is, I mean, that's just amazing. I'm so happy with this already. Like this is such a different experience than being on the Play Seat Challenge. It's actually kind of silly. I think there's a lot of settings I need to go back in. Now that it's been a while, I need to go back in and look at what settings I do have, and just really, this gives me so much more resolution on being able to, like, oh yes, I feel that, oh I need to tune that. And so I'm really excited to really dial this in, because before, all that play was taking away from what I'm feeling. And I know everyone else has said this, and there's probably other people who can explain it better, but this is it, man. This is fun. You don't have to worry about how much you're ripping on it. You can just rip on it like it's a real car. So there is one other thing we need to go try, and that's VR drifting in Assetto Corsa. So let's go do that. All right, so I lied. We're actually gonna first try Miata around Laguna Seca and see how it feels. I mean, already when I was standing still, I could feel the power steering quite a bit, so. I feel like it's so weak. Well, it is not like this track, but we will try it out. So here's some drifting. We will see how well I can do after months. Ooh, new steering wheel. Honestly, feels pretty good. I will say that is pretty good. There's some drifting. And let's get the wife's opinion.
Gas is $2.73. That is not realistic. I forgot my can shift. Oh my gosh, so there's people. Oh my gosh. I'm not used to there being people in this game. Okay, how do I get out of the city?
Go right. And then up here you can go right or left, and you'll be on your favorite road that goes like around the outside.
Okay, there we go. I hate when there's people here.
Oh, you ran into him.
Oh my gosh. So slow. I've never done this with
cars, AI
turned
cars.
on. I don't know how to be reckless with the cars. Like, I usually just
go around them.
But then there's cars coming the other direction.
Yeah, dodge them.
I mean, I can definitely feel like it's less wobbly.
Yep. Can you feel the feedback coming a bit easier?
It feels harder to steer now because the feedback is too good.
You want it sloppy?
Yeah. Oh.
Oh my.
Oh, I thought it was going to be flat around and then I could just like off-road slightly. Not the case.
Yeah, not the case.
Do you think I can get back out?
No.
In my opinion, oh my golly. Oh my golly. I think it's good. Good. I feel like this, that reminds me, this angle is not as uncomfortable as before. It was a little crampy on my knees, how it was on the Placey Challenge.
Okay. Good, because
So
this one's supposed to be a bit more like the cross truck.
This chair is comfy.
There you have it. The sim rig is finally together. There's definitely a bunch of little small things that we're going to change down the road. You know, get this floor pan in there, kind of replace some of those bolts on the seat, and then the 3D printed stuff to get the seat fully working. Might adjust some of this stuff, but overall, this is mainly it, and we can actually start using it. So overall, my thoughts are, it's amazing. It really helps with the whole experience. And it helps with like driving a lot more accurate and really feeling what's going on. One of the things I noticed is in Assetto Corsa, I can actually feel the rumble motors on the pedals, these V3 inverted pedals. I can feel them. Like I can feel when my tires start to slip. I can feel the rumble motors way better now, and I can feel the force feedback way better. And it makes it so I can actually start driving it like a car, which before I was babying it quite a bit because it all moved around. But now, like, that's long gone. Some of the things that I guess could change with this wheel plate and with the way I have it mounted, I feel like there is a little bit of up and down flex, but that's just because there's so much moment arm on to put torsion onto these, and so there's a little bit of flex, but it's really not that bad. So, and then this powder coating on all of the extrusions is really good. It looks good. When I saw it in the pictures, I thought it was going to be a bit more like rainbowy or like, you know, normal sparkles, but all the sparkles are just kind of gray. So I guess that's right. They're calling it like midnight black or something, and so I guess all the sparkles look like a bunch of stars. That's okay. I like it, you know. It looks black from afar, and when it's up close, you can tell there's actually a bit of texture to it. Oh, and the steering wheel, yeah, I like it a lot. The dish does make it a little annoying to hit some of the buttons, but I mean, it's like the full size of a steering wheel. It feels great. It's the perfect size, like, to grip it with your hands. I really like the steering wheel. And the seat's great. This whole package is awesome, and I'm so excited to start driving again because it's been months. It does get the SAMI approval. I think this is going to call this project done for now. Maybe we'll bring you back later for some of the other small upgrades, but until then, I hope you guys hit the subscribe button so we can see you on the next project. And we made stickers, so we'll put the link down below. Hope you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye!